Okay. So, let's talk about chords. Within any given scale, which is a collection of 7 notes, the 8th note will be a doubling of the frequency of the first note, aka the same note. That's a G, that's a higher G. Within any scale, I get an itchy ear. Somebody must be talking about me. Stop talking about me. Okay, what can I do? Alright, so within any scale, you can pick out particular notes to play together all at once, and that would be a chord. So the first chord would be the first chord that I would like to talk about, that most folks look at, is a major chord. And a major chord, if you look at the scale, you have 7 notes again, the 8th note repeating itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the same as the first. Within that scale, we're going to pick out the first note, the 3rd note, and the 5th note. And that is a major chord. Sounds pretty good. Look how I'm sitting up straight. It makes you feel good. And you notice that the notes get higher on the guitar than just, things go up here. So that now we're looking at a couple octaves in a row. There's 1 octave, right? And there's a 2nd octave. And so within those, I'm going to pick out as many 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes, 1, 3, and 5, as I can find. So I can have a nice full chord. So why am I going to do that? Just because it sounds really nice. So let's see what we can find around here. We've got a 1st note here, a 3rd note here, a 5th note here on the 3rd string open. That's details though. I just want to talk about how we make up chords in general. Around here we also got the next string is, we can play that one open as well. The next string we can play open, So we got 1, 3, 5, and then the next string open is the 1st note again. The next string, this little one, the 2nd string, we can either play open to have the 3rd note, or we can play the 3rd fret to get the 5th note. And then lastly, on the high E string, we can play the 3rd fret to get the octave again, which is the 1st note, or the 8th note. So here's a couple choices for us. We've got and every time you play a chord, so if you've got a chord chart before and you've learned all the major chords, so you've learned, for example, an E major, also known as an E, versus an E minor or an A minor. So if you've learned any E, A, C, D, G, those are all the major chords. And you'll notice that they all have sort of a bright sound to them, versus the minor chords, which we'll talk about in a minute. They have sort of a darker sound. So there's your G major. And I'll prove it to you here. I'll talk about those notes real quick. How's that? 1, 3, 5. This is some kind of advanced nerdy stuff. You can skip this if you want. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3 or 5, and 1. There's a G. How about the A? 1. If you play the low E, starting with the low E, go 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, and 5. If you play a C, right, you can play it with the open E, or put your pinky on the 3rd fret. The open E would be a 3rd note, the pinky on the 3rd fret would be a 5th note. But anyway, moving on to the next string, we have 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. Or sometimes you can throw your pinky up on that 3rd note for the 5th, 3rd fret for the 5th note. D, you can throw your thumb around here if you like, for a 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. And how about we bring it D? Those are pretty much all the open chords, right? What do we do? G, A, C, D, E. 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. And if you know your bar chords, it would be the same thing there. 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. 1, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. Until the top of the guitar. That video is way long enough. Now let's talk about, we're going to move towards which chords are available within any given key. So in the key of G, there are certain chords that we would only put in there. C, is that right? No. Something else. That weird one on back to G.